So, having a computer really helped me with my electronic communication skills. Not only does the computer give me access to develop more in depth my skills for the e-portfolio, but it also gives me and provides me access to other things that would help me throughout the English 250 course and other things as well. So, for example, one other thing that really helped me, other than just creating an e-portfolio, would be the fact that I have access to our Canvas website. Canvas is where I'm able to find not only English 250 classes, but my other classes as well. So if I click on my English 250 class, we have the home page where it kind of gives you a lot of resources and links that you can go to be able to find the materials or information for materials that we need. So if I go to modules, these will show me what assignments we had, and not only do they have the assignments, but also it involves like our um, our feedback that we got from our instructor friend. It includes rubrics, which are very helpful because it kind of gets to see how I'm able to do better for future assignments and how I did on my previous ones as well. On top of that, we also have my Gmail or my SciMail, which I'm able to compose any emails to my professor if I need to, which can be really helpful as opposed to waiting until class the next day. That way, if there's something that I can't find on the Canvas page, I can always email my instructor specifically and get a more detailed response, which can be very helpful because sometimes I have specific questions and it's really nice to get a full response and feedback that's more pertaining to my specific question. And doing that has really helped me with some of my assignments that I've had. For example, just like, oh, like if I have a written assignment that I wanted to know about writing it in MLA or APA, that would be an example of a question I've asked my instructor friend through email, which was really helpful. On top of that, I also have an archive for Google Docs where all my documentations are for the class and other classes. So if I want to go back and refer to an older assignment that I did and maybe look at it and see how I proposed ideas or how I made my transitions in certain paragraphs to the next ones, it's really helpful for me to look back on those. Especially if I got a good grade on a paper, I think it's really helpful to save them and see what it was that made me excel in that area. So that's where a computer really comes into play. I would say 75, if not all, of our um, in class and out of class activities and assignments had to do with using a computer if it wasn't class discussions. So that's definitely one way that my electronic communication has excelled and been illustrated throughout the class.
Being the author of a website lets me really control how I want to portray myself to my audience, like I said, because I'm more in control of how professional looking I want it to be versus like Facebook. This is more of a social area, so that's why you have more room for like telling people who your friends are and the photos and about yourself. You can share things that you like over here and add pictures of you and your family. That's completely different from an e-portfolio because you can see over here I post my assignments that I want people to look at. That way they can see how professional, how well I do in that kind of aspect. And then, of course, I do have an About Me page, but it's a lot less in depth than something per se like Twitter or Facebook.
Although I've never been able to create an e-portfolio in other classes or previous classes, having an e-portfolio is sort of similar to other websites that I have created for other classes. This is a little bit different just because this has more, it's more of like a blog per se rather than something like a website for a business. So I would say it's a little bit different, but in some ways it's definitely the same. For example, I can show like my professional side here, and then I can also show like my personal side on my About Me page, and I can include things that I've accomplished. For example, I've had my favorite books on here, which would be readings that I've finished. I'm also looking to put more pictures of my artwork that I've done here. But I really want to focus more on like my accomplishments through my assignments in school versus my accomplishments on the side that's more in my personal life. So that's really nice that being a web composer, I'm able to control that a lot more. Now that I have composed a website, I think that it's going to really help me in the future. Not only just for professional reasons, but I think it could also help me just create a more sense of personal touch to any kind of social media websites like that I have, such as my Facebook. Another way that this will really help me would be in an academic sense. I've already put a lot of like documents and videos and things like that on my e-portfolio that are connected to my class and my academic aspect of my life. But this will also help me get that professional job. If I want to be hired somewhere, I can always show them this portfolio, and this will show them a lot of my skills in my written, oral, visual, and including my electronic communication, which is really important in both academic and professional settings. And then, like I said, just being able to do this will really help me understand how to use tools for other sites and things like that too, so that I'll have more experience and know what to expect in the future. In conclusion, my electronic communication skills have definitely been able to grow a lot more with this course. Like I said, I had some experience before, but I definitely got to learn a little bit of the ropes around how to edit my website and how to make it so that it fits my audience's interest. So, whether it's going to be an employer or whether it's for other professors to see how well I do with this kind of stuff. I think that overall it was really important for me to use this, and that I can definitely say that I can take some experience with me and apply it towards my future, whether it's in a professional, academic, or just my personal life. Overall, it's important, and I think that in today's society, when electronics are so important to our lives and we use them, whether it's our cell phones, computers, TVs, they're always around us. And so I think it's really important to be able to have this accumulated knowledge. So thanks for looking at this, and I really hope that you enjoyed getting my feedback on my own work.